Please make sure to subscribe our channel and press the bell icons to get notified about our future videos. Question 1. Hotspot. To complete the sentence, select the appropriate option in the answer area. To the answer area, a relational database is appropriate for scenarios that involve a high volume of. The correct option is transactional writes. Disadvantages of non-relational databases include data consistency. Non-relational databases do not perform ACID transactions. Note, relational databases are optimized for writes. They are optimized for consistency and availability. Advantages of relational databases include simplicity, ease of data retrieval, data integrity, and flexibility. Question 2. Hotspot. To complete the sentence, select the appropriate option in the answer area. To the answer area, a visualization that shows a university's current student enrollment versus the maximum capacity is an example of dash analytics. The correct option is descriptive. Generally speaking, data analytics comes in 4 types. Descriptive, to answer the question, what is happening? Diagnostic, to answer the question, why is happening? Predictive, to answer the question, what will happen? Prescriptive, to answer the question, what actions should we take? Question 3. Hotspot. To complete the sentence, select the appropriate option in the answer area. To the answer area, dash is an object associated with a table that sorts and stores the data rows in the table based on their key values. The correct option is a clustered index. Clustered indexes sort and store the data rows in the table or view based on their key values. These are the columns included in the index definition. There can be only one clustered index per table because the data rows themselves can be stored in only one order. Question 4. Drag drop. Match the types of visualizations to the appropriate descriptions. To answer, drag the appropriate visualization type from the column on the left to its description on the right. Each visualization type may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Note, each correct match is worth 1 point. The visualizations provided to us are key influencer, scatter, and tree map. To the answer area, a chart of colored nested rectangles that displays individual data points represented by the size and color of a relative rectangle. The correct option is tree map. To the next statement, a chart that displays the major contributors of a selected result or value. The correct option is key influencer. To the next statement, a chart that shows the relationship between two numerical values. The correct option is scatter. About the options, box 1. Tree maps are charts of colored rectangles with size representing value. They can be hierarchical with rectangles nested within the main rectangle. About box 2, a key influencer chart displays the major contributors to a selected result or value. About box 3, scatter and bubble charts display relationships between 2 or 3 quantitative measures, whether or not, in which order, etc. Question 5. Hotspot. For each of the following statements, select yes if the statement is true, otherwise select no. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. To the answer area, statement. Batch processing can output data to a file store. The correct option is yes. To the next statement, batch processing can output data to a relational database. The correct option is yes. To the last statement, batch processing can output data to a NoSQL database. The correct option is yes. About box 1, big data solutions often use long-running batch jobs to filter, aggregate, and otherwise prepare the data for analysis. Usually, these jobs involve reading source files from scalable storage, processing them, and writing the output to new files in scalable storage. About box 3, batch processing can have output to SQL database, Hive, HBase, and Spark SQL. Question 6, hotspot. To complete the sentence, select the appropriate option in the answer area. To the answer area, the massively parallel processing engine of Azure Synapse Analytics. The correct option is distributes processing across compute nodes. Question 7, hotspot. To complete the sentence, select the appropriate option in the answer area. To the answer area, in batch processing dash. The correct option is latency in delivering data processing results is acceptable. When using batch processing, you might expect latencies when using batch processing. For many solutions, however, this type of delay before the transfer of data begins is not a big issue. The processes that use this function are not mission critical at the exact moment. Question 8, hotspot. To complete the sentence, select the appropriate option in the answer area. To the answer area, an extract, transform, and load process requires. The correct option is data that is fully processed before being loaded to the target data store. Extract, transform, and load is a data pipeline used to collect data from various sources, transform the data according to business rules, and load it into a destination data store. Question 9, drag drop. Match the types of analytics that can be used to answer the business questions. To answer, drag the appropriate analytics types from the column on the left to its question on the right. Each analytics type may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. The analytics types provided to us are cognitive, diagnostic, descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive. To the answer area, statement. Why did sales increase last month? The correct option is diagnostic. To the next statement, how do I allocate my budget to buy different inventory items? The correct option is prescriptive. To the last statement, which people are mentioned in a company's business documents? The correct option is descriptive. Question 10, hotspot. To complete the sentence, select the appropriate option in the answer area. To the answer area, descriptive analytics tells you. The correct option is what occurred in the past. Descriptive analytics tells what happened in the past. So B is the right answer. Question 11, hotspot. To complete the sentence, select the appropriate option in the answer area. To the answer area, a key/value data store is optimized for dash. The correct option is simple lookups. A key/value store associates each data value with a unique key. Most key value stores only support simple query, insert, and delete operations. To modify a value, an application must overwrite the existing data for the entire value. In most implementations, reading or writing a single value is an atomic operation. An application can store arbitrary data as a set of values. Any schema information must be provided by the application. The key/value store simply retrieves or stores the value by key. Question 12, drag drop. Match the types of data to the appropriate Azure data services. To answer, drag the appropriate data type from the column on the left to its service on the right. Each data type may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Note, each correct match is worth 1 point. The data types provided to us are image files, key/value pairs, relationships between employees. To the answer area, Azure Blob Storage. The correct option is image files. To the next statement, Azure Cosmos DB Gremlin API. The correct option is relationships between employees. To the last statement, Azure Table Storage. The correct option is key/value pairs. Question 13. Drag drop. Match the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 terms to the appropriate levels in the hierarchy. To answer, drag the appropriate term from the column on the left to its level on the right. Each term may be used once, more than once, or not at all. Note, each correct match is worth 1 point. The terms provided to us are Azure Storage Account, File Share, and Container. To the answer area, Azure Resource Group. To the next level, the correct term is Azure Storage Account. Then moving on to the next level, the correct term is Container. Then folders and files. About box 1, Azure file shares are deployed into storage accounts, which are top level objects that represent a shared pool of storage. Question 14. Drag drop. Your company plans to load data from a customer relationship management system to a data warehouse by using an extract, load, and transform process. Where does data processing occur for each stage of the ELT process? To answer, drag the appropriate locations to the correct stages. Each location may be used once, more than once, or not at all. You may need to drag the split bar between panes or scroll to view content. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. The locations provided to us are a standalone data analysis tool, the CRM system, the data warehouse. To the answer area, extract. The correct option is the CRM system. To the next statement, load. The correct option is the data warehouse. Then to the next statement, transform. The correct option is the data warehouse. About box 1, data is extracted from the CRM system. About box 2, data is loaded to the data warehouse. About box 3, extract, load, and transform differs from ETL solely in where the transformation takes place. In the ELT pipeline, the transformation occurs in the target data store. Instead of using a separate transformation engine, the processing capabilities of the target data store are used to transform data. In practice, the target data store is a data warehouse using either a Hadoop cluster or a SQL dedicated pools on Azure Synapse Analytics. Question 15. Your company recently supported sales from the third quarter. You have the chart shown in the following table. Which type of analysis is shown in the fourth quarter? The correct option is A. Predictive, to answer the question, what will happen? Question 16. Hotspot. To complete the sentence, select the appropriate option in the answer area. To the answer area, creating closed caption text for audio files is an example of dash analytics. The correct option is descriptive. Question 17. Hotspot. To complete the sentence, select the appropriate option in the answer area. To the answer area, an extract, load, and transform process requires. The correct option is a target data store powerful enough to transform data. With ELT, the data store used to perform the transformation is the same data store where the data is ultimately consumed. Question 18. Hotspot. You plan to deploy a PostgreSQL database to Azure. Which hosting model corresponds to the available deployment options? To answer, select the appropriate option in the answer area. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. To the answer area, PostgreSQL on Azure virtual machines. The correct option is infrastructure as a service. To the next statement, Azure database for PostgreSQL. The correct option is platform as a service. Question 19, hotspot. To complete the sentence, select the appropriate option in the answer area. To the answer area, dash natively support the analysis of relationships between entities. The correct option is graph databases. Graph databases can efficiently perform queries across the network of nodes and edges and analyze the relationships between entities. Question 20, hotspot. To complete the sentence, select the appropriate option in the answer area. Relational data is stored in. The correct option is a tabular form of rows and columns. Question 21, hotspot. To complete the sentence, select the appropriate option in the answer area. To the answer area, dash physically sorts the data in a table based on the values in a specified column. The correct option is a clustered index. Question 22, hotspot. To complete the sentence, select the appropriate option in the answer area. To the answer area, a block of code that runs in a database is called. The correct answer is a stored procedure. Question 23, hotspot. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. To the answer area, in a relational database, each row in a table has. The correct option is the same set of columns. The same set of columns. In relational databases, a row is a data record within a table. Each row, which represents a complete record of specific item data, holds different data within the same structure. A row is occasionally referred to as a tuple. Question 24, hotspot. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. To the answer area, in an infrastructure as a service instance of Microsoft SQL Server on Azure, you manage the dash that hosts SQL Server. The correct option is virtual machine. SQL Server on Azure Virtual Machine. SQL Server on Azure Virtual Machine falls into the industry category infrastructure as a service and allows you to run SQL Server inside a fully managed virtual machine in Azure. The most significant difference from SQL database and SQL managed instance is that SQL Server on Azure virtual machines allows full control over the database engine. You can choose when to start maintenance or patching, change the recovery model to simple or bulk logged, pause or start the service when needed, and you can fully customize the SQL Server database engine. With this additional control comes the added responsibility to manage the virtual machine. Question 25, hotspot. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. To the answer area, a key/value data store is optimized for. The correct option is simple lookups. A key/value store associates each data value with a unique key. Key/value stores are highly optimized for applications performing simple lookups, but are less suitable if you need to query data across different key/value stores. Key/value stores are also not optimized for querying by value. A single key/value store can be extremely scalable as the data store can easily distribute data across multiple nodes on separate machines. Question 26. Hotspot. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. To the answer area, varying fields for each entity in a JSON document is an example of. The correct option is semi-structured data. For some semi-structured data formats, datasets are frequently a simple concatenation of multiple documents. Question 27. Which type of Azure storage is used for VHDs and is optimized for random read and write operations? Select only one answer. The correct option is D. Page blob. Page blobs are optimized for random access and used for VHDs. Append blobs cannot be updated. Block blobs are not used for VHDs. Azure Files is not used for VHDs. Question 28. Which statement is an example of data manipulation language? The correct option is C. Insert. Data manipulation language affect the information stored in the database. Use these statements to insert, update, and change the rows in the database. Bulk insert, delete, insert, select, update, and merge. Question 29. You have a SQL query that combines customer data and order data. The query includes calculated columns. You need to create a database object that would allow other users to rerun the same SQL query. What should you create? The correct option is B. A view. A view is a virtual table whose contents are defined by a query. A view acts as a filter on the underlying tables referenced in the view. The query that defines the view can be from one or more tables or from other views in the current or other databases. Question 30. What are two characteristics of real-time data processing? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. The correct option is B and D. That is, low latency is expected and data is processed as it is created. Real-time processing deals with streams of data that are captured in real time and processed with minimal latency to generate real-time reports or automated responses. Which statement is an example of data manipulation language? The correct option is D. Update. There is three types of relational data SQL. DDL, that is data definition language. It contains create, drop, alter, rename, comment, and truncate. DML, data manipulation language that contains select, insert into, delete, and update. DCL, that is data control language that contains revoke and grant. And TCL, that is transactional control language that contains commit and rollback. Question 32. You need to create an Azure resource to store data in Azure Table Storage. Which command should you run? The correct option is B. AZ storage account create. Due to no AZ storage table created in the selection, the best answer is B. Create storage account. Question 33. You need to modify a view in a relational database by adding a new column. Which statement should you use? The correct option is B. Alter. To modify a view means to alter a view. There's three types of relational data in SQL. DDL, that is data definition language. DML, that is data manipulation language, DCL, that is data control language, and an additional TCL, that is transactional control language. Question 34. Which Azure storage solution provides native support for EP06 compliant access control lists? The correct option is B. Azure Data Lake Storage. Question 35. Which type of database is Azure database for PostgreSQL? The correct option is A. Platform as a service. Question 36. Which storage solution supports access control lists at the file and folder level? The correct option is A. Azure Data Lake Storage. Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 implements an access control model that supports both Azure role-based access control and PO6-like access control lists. Question 37. You need to create an Azure storage account. Data in the account must replicate outside the Azure region automatically. Which two types of replication can you use for the storage account? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. The correct options are B and D, that is read access geo-redundant storage and geo-redundant storage. About the options, about B, with GRS or GZRS, the data in secondary region isn't available for read or write access unless there is a failover to the secondary region. For read access to the secondary region, configure your storage account to use read access geo-redundant storage or read access geo-zone redundant storage. About option D, Azure Storage offers two options for copying your data to a secondary region, that is GRS and GZRS. Question 38. What is the characteristic of batch processing? The correct option is C. There is a noticeable time delay between ingesting data and obtaining the data processing results. Question 39. Which property of a transactional workload guarantees that each transaction is treated as a single unit that either succeeds completely or fails completely? The correct option is A. Atomicity. The purpose of making transactions atomic is to prevent different transactions from interfering with one another. This can only happen if more than one user process is trying to access the database at the same time, as when a server allows several clients to use it concurrently. The simplest way to enforce atomicity is for the DBMS to refuse to start any transactions until the previous one has committed. Question 40. Which Azure Data Service allows you to store document, graph, and column family databases? Select only one answer. The correct option is A. Azure Cosmos DB. Azure Cosmos DB can handle all the databases needed. Azure SQL database cannot handle column family databases. Table storage cannot handle any of the database types. HBase cannot handle graph databases.